Hi guys, how are you? This is Zura and today we're going to talk about ES6 new data structure map. Map object holds key value pairs and remembers the position of insertion of these keys and values. Maps are very similar to JavaScript objects, and historically JavaScript objects were used as maps. But there are some important differences what you need to know. Object keys can only be string or a symbol type, but for map you can actually have any value as a key. It can be a function, it can be an object, array, and so on. The keys in map are ordered as they are inserted in it, while this is not an object. Map has a size property which returns how many elements, how many key value pairs you have inserted in your map, so that's also really helpful. Map is an iterable object, meaning that you can easily iterate over key value pairs, but for objects you need to retrieve keys and then iterate over keys and get the values like this. A map may perform better in different scenarios when we have frequent additions and removals. Enough talking, let's start using map. Let map is new map, and then we can call a couple of methods on the map. Visual Studio Code also shows you it has clear, delete, entries, set, and so on. Probably the most frequent is to set and get or has. So I'm setting name is Zura, and then I check if map has name and map get name, and this prints true and Zura. Let's use different types of variables as keys of the map. Now let's retrieve our values. Like map has string key returns true. Map has name also returns true, because string is a primitive type. If we use object key, we get true. But if we use as an empty object in the key, this returns false. This is because object is a reference type and string is a primitive type. The same happens for function. When we try to get the function key, we have it, but if we pass it here an empty function, of course, it returns false. Number is a primitive type, so if we just pass 15 here, it returns true. Let's iterate over our map and print its keys and values. Maps can be iterated using for/of operator. So for, if we are just interested in the map keys, then we can use map keys method, which returns an array, and we can just use key from it. We have name, empty object, function, and 15. The same works if you use values method and you print it, you get values. There's another method map has, and it's called entries. It does basically the same thing as just using map. You get key and value, and you have both of them. And one more option to iterate over map is to use map's built-in method for each. Map for each. Keys of the map can basically be anything. It can be null, it can be undefined, it can be even not a number. And not a number is a really strange, when you compare none to another none, this returns false. But if you put something, if you set something with none key, and then you just check if map has none, this returns true. In the map constructor, you can pass a two-dimensional array, and this will create a map using where the first argument of each sub-array is key and the second argument, second item, is an value. Let's demonstrate this also. I have this two-dimensional array where name, for example, is Sura and age is some number. If you pass the array to the map and then you check if your map just get age, this returns 26. You can do also vice versa. You can call array from and passing their map, and this returns a two-dimensional array. Now let's return to our previous example and use array from map, which converts our map into two-dimensional array. If we are interested only keys of the map or values, we can just call it corresponding method here, and we will have just one-dimensional array of keys or arrays or values. If you want to create a copy of existing map, the map also accepts another map in its constructor. So if I want to create a new map from existing map, I can pass it there, and my new map has now all elements what exists in my map. And I can remove these elements from map, of course. Delete, for example, delete name, but my new map still has this name because it's already cloned. You can use map with spread operator, and this converts and this creates as many two-item arrays as the map has size. So if I use a spread operator in my new map, this gives me 5 arrays: name, my object, my function, which ends here, number, and none. So instead of array from, you can actually do like this, and this is equivalent of calling array from. Using this approach, you can basically merge two maps into single one. So if you have map 1 and map 2, you can create a new map. You can pass here using spread operator these two maps. This gives a new map and merges these keys and values. Weak map is just like a map, except that the keys can only be reference type variables. Keys cannot be primitive type variables. That's the main difference between map and weak map. Also, weak maps are not enumerable. There's no possibility to retrieve a list of keys. Basically, this is all about map and weak map. I really appreciate if you leave comments below and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.